Hello, my name is Mohammed. I'm a counselor with All Smiles Therapy Center. How do we know when our sexual behavior is really bad? Previously, I mentioned some research by the National Center for Biotechnology and Information on masturbation, which said that people who are very religious or very traditional have a tendency to blame themselves or label themselves as having a problem, whereas in reality, their sexual behavior isn't as serious as they think it is. So how do we know? How can a person tell when their sexual behavior really is bad? So there is what is called hypersexuality disorder in the International Classification of Disorders, or the ICD. And this is a condition where a person for a long period of time consistently has sexual fantasies and engages in sexual behavior consistently. One. And these sexual fantasies and these sexual behavior really bother this person, or they bother somebody else or some other people. And lastly, these sexual behavior or sexual thoughts that bother this person or bother other people, they cause problems in this person's working, in their studying, in their relationships, in their health, and with the law. When your sexual behavior meets all those three criteria, then we know that the sexual behavior is really serious. Okay? So just to recap, if you're constantly having sexual fantasies and consistently engaging in behavior, one, and two, you're very bothered about this behavior, or it's really bothering other people, and three, lastly, these sexual behavior are consistently causing you problems, ability to work or study, and this sexual behavior, your partner or other people are consistently complaining about it, or these sexual behavior are causing you health problems, or these sexual behavior are making you to break the law, then we can say that these sexual behavior are very serious. So there are two flavors of sexual disorder. One is called the paraphilic type, and the other is the non-paraphilic type. The paraphilic cluster of sexual behavioral problems would be those that are viewed badly by the society. For example, pedophilia or Freuterism. Freuterism is the behavior of touching people, consistently touching people or rubbing oneself against people. Another type of paraphilic sexual disorder is voyeurism, or kuchungulia watu, looking at people when they are dressing or when they are naked. And then there are the non-paraphilic hypersexual disorders. So these are things that society may be okay about. For example, consuming pornography or going to strip clubs. So there may be some behavior that society is relatively okay about, but it is still a serious behavior. So what can one do when one has serious hypersexuality disorder, or a sexual behavior problem? Well, one, an individual can commit to avoiding paraphilic behavior on a day-to-day basis. It's important for an individual to avoid things such as pursuing minors, or voyeurism, or touching people. Two, oftentimes sexual behavior becomes worse when there's a problem in another area of a person's life. There's an analogy where they say that when a person is starving, they can eat almost anything. Yeah, people will even eat their shoes, the leather, when they're starving, or they'll even drink the oil or drink petrol when they're dying of thirst. Similarly, when a person is having great problems, if they're having trauma and they have a lot of pain and a lot of stress, they may compensate to make themselves feel better by engaging in excessive consumption of pornography. So the second thing you can do is to find healthier ways to cope with the stresses that you're encountering or with the traumas that you've experienced. For example, going for counseling. Okay. Thirdly, the sexual behavior that a person is engaging in could be a sign or a symptom of a problem. There are some conditions which cause people to engage in excessive sexual behavior. So number 3, it could be important to seek professional assessment. Is my sexual behavior or one's sexual behavior being caused by something else? So it could be very important to get help and assessment to find out the real root. Besides the pain or the stress, are there other issues that could be causing this sexual behavior? Last but not least, it does help. It does help, even if one does not have a serious sexual behavior problem. It does help to structure one's life. Yeah, make sure that there are some healthy and positive activities that one is engaging in. It does help to minimize such behavior. And secondly, it also helps to be more socially connected and reach out to those who are nearby you. So being closer to friends, or being closer, engaging more in activities with your partner or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, it will reduce excessive involvement, for example, with pornography. Thank you.